everybody. Welcome to the Pick Me podcast, episode 1, the first of a series of podcasts where we'll go behind the scenes and talk to the cast and crew of the Australian short comedy film Pick Me. Being the first episode, today we're going to start right at the beginning, and we've got the writing team along with us. Principal writers, myself and Will, and co-writers Zack and Thorne. So guys, if you'd like to just go around the circle and give yourselves an introduction.
Yep. So my name is William Neville. I was a lead writer on this film, as well as the second assistant director on production.
TBird.
Hi, I'm Thorne. I was a co-writer, which was really fun, and I also played one of the lead supporting role of Questa Reams, the best friend of the main character.
We love you, Questa.
Hi, I'm Zack Hudson. I helped write some of the characters in this and some of the plot lines, and I played the main character. I think it was Sam.
You think it was Sam or was it Sam?
I had to think. Look, I didn't prepare.
Was I meant to say my last name? Because I didn't say my last name. My last name is Lyons. My last name is Lyons.
Yeah,
with a Y. There's no I. It's with a
It's
Y.
not Loins.
Y-O-N-S.
And it's Thorne
It's
with
not pronounced loins. And yes, Thorne has an E.
Thorne with an
All right,
E.
guys. Just in case anyone needs to spell my name.
As Thorne's mother so graciously hit me up on.
Did she?
Yeah, because it was wrong in the credits and I got in trouble. So thanks to
Thorne's mum just start DMing you like, what's up, bro?
Hi, Thorne's mum.
She just starts giving like actual death threats.
I have your IP.
I can influence my blockchain to get a hitman.
I was just going to say, look, I've moved all of my accounts offshore, so I'm financially. That's all good. So, guys, maybe we'll start by talking about how we all came together here. So we're studying a diploma of screen and media at TAFE, Queensland. And we were set the task of making a short film, and we had to do a pitch to our fellow classmates. And I'd just come off the back of writing a rather dark psychological thriller, Desert Rose. And it was pretty tormented, and it was a process of going inside the mind of mad people and the crazy things they would do. So I thought, I want to do something totally different. I want to do a comedy, but I'm not really that funny. So what am I going to do? I instantly thought of these three guys here. Will is he's got that rare talent of being extremely fast and witty and very courageous with his comments. He doesn't really hold back. I don't think PC is really in his dictionary. And then Zack and Thorne had just produced a movie, Gorilla Nut. Shameless plug for you guys there.
Extremely funny.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone should watch it.
Oh, yeah, so great.
And I could see that they were developing together as a fantastic writing team. And so basically I just cashed in on all of these guys' humour. So I stood up in front of the class and I pitched the idea of Pick Me. And I didn't tell these guys. I basically told them, you're writing with me. And
he approached us at our lunch table and said, so guys, when are we going to start writing this thing?
Yeah,
and we were like, huh? And he was like, well, you're on the writing team, right? And we were like, yeah, we're on the writing team. And then we were on the writing team. So it was more of like an abduction, but now we're here forever.
Made it a very simple and straightforward process, though.
It was quite effective.
Yeah. It was quite effective.
So did you guys have any thoughts on the initial pitch that I delivered?
I guess my initial thoughts were I was intrigued by it because I'm a big fan of the coming of age story, especially in the settings of high school. But it's been done a lot, and it's been done in the same manner over and over again. So to see with something with a talking guitar and adding that kind of almost Toy Story-esque world, but using guitars to put a spin on the genre. That was what really intrigued me about the story. And I was like, yeah, I'm on board. I gotta be with this.
Cool. Gorilla, have you guys got a writing team name, Thorne and Zack?
The Gorilla Guys.
The Gorilla Guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was calling you Gorilla Nips for a little while there, so I don't know. I don't know if that's going to stick or not because I just
You
can't
can
get.
stay with that. I don't mind.
Okay.
I don't mind. I have no objections. Honestly, I encourage you to stick with the name Gorilla.
So back to the subject. Did you have a tingle in your nipples when you heard the pick me pitch?
My nips spiked as soon as I heard it.
Amazing.
Because I don't know, I liked the light kind of vibe that it was giving, where it had this really funny energy, and yeah, the Toy Story-esque vibes, but live action.
Sure.
And then you said Superbad was like a film where it would be kind of similar area, and I was like, I love that movie.
Awesome.
So I was very on board from the start.
Want to go into the influences in a minute. Zack?
Well, when you started talking about it, my initial thoughts was I went to the idea of Rock of Ages, where it's just so over. It's just rock music porn, but it's also but then you add on this whole twist of it's slapstick humor, and it's just utterly stupid at the same time. So I thought it'd be really fun. I thought it'd be just a whole nother genre I haven't touched as someone who is not musically talented.
Well, I think you guys were perfectly suited to the script. And I want to bring up this thing of the generation gap that we had. We've got Gen Xers and Ys and millennials. And it was actually, I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. And I think the dynamics of our team worked really good because we were actually using Will as a translator between the... Because I would bring up things and you guys would be like, what the hell are you talking about? I was like, I want it to be like Revenge of the Nerds or Wayne's World, and just blank faces from the Gorilla Nips. And Will's like, so I think if you guys agree with that it was actually a really good dynamic there that we...
Yeah, it was a bit like that.
Yeah, I definitely agree because as someone who loves his 80s and 90s cinema and especially understands those references to music that would be considered older to at least the Gen Z generation, I've found that, yeah, it was helpful to be able to translate to the rest of the crew what you were on about. Yeah, having that generational gap also allowed for the film in the end, with some of the jokes that were written, it allowed for the film to be more accessible. Because I found that I had my father along with me, and when there were the jokes about Jimi Hendrix and those other musicians in that photo, I could hear and see him laughing at that joke, and a bunch of other people that were with me pointing that out, like, hey, isn't that memorable photo? Whereas my friends that were my age along with me, that completely went over the head. So I think being able to have that generational gap made it more accessible to more people, which ultimately is what you want with any film.
Yeah. Nailed it. Actually, speaking of generation gaps, can we do the Brady Bunch thing really quick? I wanted to do that. See, this. I just wanted to do this because look at Thorne. He's like, what's that? What's a Brady? Is that a fruit? Is that a bunch of fruit? No,
I'm vaguely familiar.
In the intro of Brady Bunch, they all I look down at Will like this, and then I look across.
Yeah.
Zack. Will. Hi, Will.
Hey, Thorne.
What's up?
I've always wanted to do that. It's such a brilliant idea.
Yeah. I feel like the Zoom meeting was built for this.
It was.
Yeah,
Absolutely was. Going into the process of being a collaboration and writing, it's probably the second script that I've been involved in writing. So I wasn't sure about the process, and I actually just got the idea off of TV shows like 30 Rock and Tosh.0, where they have that classic conference room table and they all sit around the table and they throw the ball to each other and they all bounce ideas off each other. So it was literally from those shows that I came up with the idea of getting around the table and doing it. And we kept the sessions really short. I think they were like a half an hour or something like that.
Half an hour to an hour, yeah.
So I actually absolutely loved that process, and everything. It was recorded because we would forget a lot of.
And we had the
things.
talking drink bottle. You could only talk if you had the drink bottle. It was a
So
drink bottle.
explain the drink bottle process, Thorne.
It was like the talking stick, but we didn't have a stick and we didn't have a ball, so we just had a drink bottle that we would slide around the table and drop occasionally.
Because we had so many ideas that we just kept talking over one another. So we had to like pull back and go, unless you've got the bottle, then you can't talk. So it was a relatively civilized process. But I think just the energy of having these ideas, just bang, 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 and then someone would trigger an idea over here, and then you would take it that way, and then they would come back and take it this way. I just thought it was absolutely awesome.
I love writing in groups. It's way better than writing by yourself.
And even when we had, because we did have a few different ideas that sort of clashed, but even when that happened, like it was never a struggle or anything like that. We all kept moving, and we sort of knew, going back to those influence, we knew that it wanted to be like a Happy Madison Productions or a School of Rock or a Pick of Destiny, so we sort of had this general bubble of an area that we wanted to stay in, so we didn't get out of bounds too much. I can't remember the specific things, but there's a few ideas along the way, and I'll go back through the tapes and try and dig them up. But there was, a few of these just 1 second ideas. Like I think Thorne a couple of times. Thorne, you came up with the name Quester, and
string theory.
And string theory. So we weren't sure about this character who Quester was going to be, but as soon as Thorne named it, it almost like developed just by itself, because Quester, and you could imagine who Quester may or may not be.
Yeah.
And so I think once again the team worked really well. Thorne, you were just like a wild man throwing out these crazy ideas. I was actually blown away by Zack and how thoughtful in the quick moment. See, myself, I need to go away and think about things and come back, but he would instantly have the whole thing wrapped up, and he might say, "Oh, we can't do this and that because we've got that." And so he was really in the moment. And Will was very structural with the whole thing. He was continually reminding us about our Act 1 and our turning points and things like that. So once again, the collaboration process there's no way that I could have done it without you guys.
It was very interesting, the differences between us, how Thorne, in most of his ideas, is very quick fire, just off the dome, like, what if this and this and this, and continues to build it. And then with Zack, I found he was like keeping it logical. It's like, okay, but if this happens, we can't do this, and keeping all that in check. But I know for myself, this is the case in not just my writing, but in just my life in general, is I can't deal without structure. And sometimes that's a downfall. But I think in this instance, when we had so many ideas floating around, that having that structure was really a good thing, honestly. And yeah, it was something that I was very adamant on imposing, I suppose.
Because that's exactly right. The other thing we haven't talked about was our deadlines, our time limit. I think so. We had three of these half an hour meetings. Is that right? I think so.
Yeah,
it was only 3.
Right.
So in effect, we wrote the whole film in an hour and a half. I know we did. I know we did tweaks and things afterwards. Especially the ending. We never really had an ending until the actual day of the shoot. Remember how we just pulled out that idea of her? Well, I won't give away any spoilers. But yeah, on the day of the shoot, we come up with that. Anyway, running out of time, guys. I'm going to wind it up. We've actually got some questions here from our Discord fans. So Shakespeare's Quill wants to ask us, what were the challenges of writing a comedy script?
Ooh, what's the challenge? I guess in my context, I'm a fan of dark and dry humor for the most part. So me trying to stick to the genre and the audience we were aiming for, and writing jokes that would land with them, rather than trying to write jokes that would land for me personally, or niche ideas that only I or a select few would understand. That was the biggest challenge for me.
Definitely.
I think I was going to say the same thing as Will about target audience, about writing jokes and knowing who's going to find them funny, and then knowing who you want to find them funny. Because
Great.
you'll write a joke, but then the people that are going to watch your film, if they aren't that demographic, they're not going to find the film funny. So you kind of have to keep it in the same ballpark a lot of the time.
Yeah, I think I would give the same answer, but to give some variation, I think it's also very difficult with this film in particular to get sort of jokes that fit with the theme or just make sense and what's the story. Because this whole thing was music themed, and I think as someone who has no idea of the music world or culture, it was very hard to just dive into that and then make jokes that culture would understand and also find funny when I wouldn't know anything about that.
Skippy11 says, what were the pros and cons of writing in a group?
Pros and cons of writing a group. I think it was, it's not too much of a con, but I think because we had so many ideas and some of those ideas would build so quickly, sometimes it was a struggle to keep on top of those ideas. And I think and I say it's not much of a con because in the end we were able to keep on top of it because we recorded those meetings and we had structure, and Zack was there reminding us of the logical structure of the film. So it kind of, the problem then created a solution in and of itself, I found at least.
Nice.
Having to listen to everyone else.
Yeah, I saw you biting your tongue there quite a lot of the time in those sessions. Thanks,
Sometimes I just
TBird.
really wanted to say something, but I didn't have the drink bottle, so I couldn't.
Fantastic. Zack.
Con, we had Thorne in our group, so that put us down a lot. It slowed it down. Could have worked a lot better. I think pro, there was because there was all four of us were so different in the way our brains would work. We'd get so many different ideas in about 10 seconds and we'd all just put it together and then mash it together into a story. So I think that worked on efficiency.
So if you were going to fix this problem in the future, what do you think? How do you think you'd go about that?
Fast to replace that Thorne guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
God.
Yeah, 4 is like the golden number. It's just if we had someone different, it'd be great.
Yeah, we got to get someone else.
Well, beggars can't be choosers, so
well, we could choose though.
We've got
we're not begging.
Sorry, guys. We've got a question from Abby Turner. What advice do you have for up and coming writers, Will?
Oh, okay. For up and coming writers, I think look at the films that you love. All right. Analyze the plot points and character developments that you enjoy. Like, what about that appeals to you? And then go out and look at films that you might not usually watch and see how other people can enjoy as one thing, just to get a more general understanding of specifically your target audience. So if you're writing a teen coming of age film, watch a lot of teen coming of age films and try and look for those patterns. And then from that, what I would like to do and what we did with this film is look at those patterns and then try to break them. Try to make it submersive and flip the genre or subgenre on its head to make something new in your own.
Great. Awesome.
If you have an idea, write it down. Don't just think about it and then forget about it in a week and then that idea is lost forever. You have an idea, make sure you write it down and then you can evolve on it later. You can explore the idea later. You can do it in a year, 2 years, but just have it written down so it doesn't get lost because our brains forget. We're human.
That sounds like it's coming from experience there, Thorne.
Yes, it is coming from experience.
What do you think, Zack?
I think it's important to have a roadmap throughout the entire thing, which probably is step one of everything everyone knows. But I think it's, once you have that roadmap, I think it's really important to like look at the ending and go, is that either enjoyable or satisfying? Because that's important. And if it's not, then either the journey needs to change or the ending does. So that's what I think.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for all of that, guys. So we'll wrap it up here. Maybe you guys just want to give the audience a quick idea of what you're going to be up to in the future.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one. So I'm currently trying to get a pilot for a cooking show off the ground. just having a few struggles with COVID and flying the chefs in and all that kind of stuff. I've also got a music video with an artist I've worked with before done directing that's coming up soon. That's where I'm at.
Gorilla Nips.
Gorilla
So
Nips.
So much coming
So
up.
much stuff is coming up. Like there's just so many things. It's
Cool,
just
weird.
really like
There's a long list.
You're not
This-
doing anything.
I don't know
yeah,
if we've got
a lot
enough
more
time.
acting, a lot more
Ooh.
writing, a lot more
Yeah.
acting. Heaps of stuff, really.
Did you say acting yet?
I
I
feel
did say I think so, yeah.
I feel
Okay.
like it's a pre-eruption of a volcano. Like it's all happening down here, and it's
yeah.
Mhm.
going to
Mm,
Yep.
Oh.
just a
Yeah,
matter
the
of
eruption is coming.
Like honestly,
Exactly,
a
it's coming.
tsunami of creativity is about to hit the shorelines of the industry.
Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Be sure to stay tuned to the Pick Me Facebook and Instagram pages for more news and updates. Bye for now.